My wife looked me in the eyes and said, "You will never be successful." Those words stayed with me for years. At the time, I had nothing except a dream and the determination to work hard. I never imagined that one day she would see me on television and regret everything she had said. My name is Michael. I met my wife, Emma, when we were both in college. We fell in love quickly and got married a few years later. In the beginning, life was simple. We rented a small apartment and lived from paycheck to paycheck. I worked a regular office job during the day, but every night I spent hours learning video production and digital marketing. My dream was to build my own media company. It was not easy, but I believe that if I stayed patient and worked hard, one day my dream would become reality. Emma did not believe in my dream. She wanted me to stop taking risks and focus only on a stable job. At first, she supported me, but as the months passed, she became frustrated. She said I was wasting my time and chasing something that would never happen. Every failed project became another reason for her to criticize me. Every late night at my computer became another argument between us. Then, one evening, after another disagreement, she said something I will never forget. She looked at me and said, "Michael, you will never be successful. You need to accept who you are." Those words broke my heart. I stayed quiet because I did not want another fight. Deep inside, I was hurt, but I refused to give up. I had no idea that those words would become the biggest mistake she would ever make. A few months later, things became even worse. Emma stopped believing in me completely. She said she was tired of waiting for a future that might never come. One evening, she packed her bags and told me she wanted a divorce. She said she wanted a different life. Before walking out the door, she looked at me one last time and said, "When you finally realize your dream will never happen, don't come looking for me." Then she left. Watching her walk away was one of the hardest moments of my life. For weeks, I felt completely lost. But instead of giving up, I made a promise to myself. I would use the pain as motivation. I worked longer hours than ever before. I studied every night, improved my skills, and kept building my business one step at a time. There were many failures, but I refused to quit. 3 years passed. My life slowly began to change. My small media company started getting bigger clients. One successful project led to another. Soon, my work was being noticed by people across the country. One day, I received a phone call from a national television network. They wanted to interview me about my journey from struggling employee to successful business owner. I could hardly believe it. On the day of the interview, I stood in front of the cameras, remembering all the nights when people laughed at my dream. I spoke honestly about failure, hard work, and never giving up. I had no idea who was watching that interview, but somewhere, sitting in her living room, Emma was staring at the television screen in complete shock. The morning after the interview aired, my phone would not stop ringing. Friends, former co-workers, and even people I had not spoken to in years were calling to congratulate me. Messages kept coming in all day. Everyone was talking about the interview. My business received more attention than ever before. New clients wanted to work with us, and our company continued to grow. Then I received a message from a number I had deleted years ago. It was Emma. She simply wrote, "Congratulations. I saw you on TV. Can we talk?" I stared at the message for a long time. Years earlier, I would have done anything to hear from her again. But now, my life had completely changed. I was no longer the man she had walked away from. A few days later, we met at a small cafe. Emma looked nervous. She admitted that she had been watching my interview with tears in her eyes. She said she finally realized how hard I had worked and how wrong she had been. Then she apologized for never believing in me. She said leaving me was the biggest mistake of her life. She told me she wished she had supported my dream instead of laughing at it. I listened quietly, without interrupting. I was not angry anymore. The pain had disappeared a long time ago. But hearing those words reminded me of the night she told me I would never be successful. I knew the next few minutes would decide the future of both our lives. I looked at Emma for a few moments before answering. Then I smiled and thanked her for the apology. I told her I truly hoped she would find happiness in her life. But I also told her that some doors only close once. The day she stopped believing in me was the day I started believing in myself even more. I explained that I had forgiven her a long time ago, but I could not go back to the past. Too much had changed. I was no longer chasing my dream. I was living it. Emma lowered her head and quietly nodded. She said she understood. Before we left, she wished me success and thanked me for hearing her out. We shook hands, and that was the last time I ever saw her. As I walked away from the cafe, I felt completely at peace. Years ago, I thought proving Emma wrong would be the greatest victory of my life. But I was wrong. The real victory was becoming the person I always wanted to be. My company continued to grow, and I spent my time helping young entrepreneurs believe in themselves. Whenever someone told me their dream was impossible, I smiled because I knew exactly how they felt. Looking back, I realized that Emma's words did not destroy my future. They became the fuel that pushed me forward. She thought I would never be successful. Instead, she watched my success on national television. In the end, I did not need revenge. My success became the answer she never expected. Lesson: never let someone else's opinion become your future. Believe in yourself, work hard every day, and let your success speak louder than their doubts.